Ever wondered if everything you've heard about motorcycles is true? In our day-to-day lives, we come across a myriad of beliefs and assumptions about motorcycles. Some of these are passed down from generation to generation, others are widely accepted truths, and some are simply the product of vivid imaginations. But how many of these so-called facts actually hold water? From the safety of helmets to the speed comparison between motorcycles and cars, and the seemingly innocent comparison of riding a bike to riding a motorcycle, there's a whole world of myths waiting to be unraveled. Today, we're going to dissect some of these popular motorcycle myths, peeling back the layers of hearsay and conjecture to reveal the hard, irrefutable facts beneath. Remember, knowledge is power, and understanding the truth behind these myths can make your motorcycle journey safer, more enjoyable, and definitely more interesting. So buckle up as we embark on this journey to debunk some popular motorcycle myths. Let's start with a common myth. Helmets cause more harm than good. Now, this is an idea that has been circulating around for quite a while. Some say that helmets limit visibility and hearing, making it harder to be aware of your surroundings. Others argue that in the event of an accident, helmets can cause neck injuries due to their weight. But let's look at the facts. First, helmets are designed to protect your most valuable asset, your brain. A study from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, found that helmets are about 67% effective in preventing brain injuries. That's nearly 3/4 of all incidents where a helmet could save your life or prevent serious damage. As for the claim that helmets limit visibility and hearing, modern helmets are designed with these concerns in mind. They come with wide eye ports for peripheral vision, and while they do muffle sound to some extent, they don't block it out entirely. In fact, they filter out the wind noise, allowing you to hear important sounds like car horns or sirens better. Now, what about the idea that helmets can cause neck injuries? This is largely based on outdated information. Early helmet designs were indeed heavy, but today's helmets are lightweight and ergonomically designed. They distribute weight evenly across your shoulders and neck, reducing the risk of strain. Moreover, a comprehensive study published in the Journal of Neurosurgery Spine examined over 1,000 motorcycle accidents and found no increased risk of neck injuries due to helmet use. On the contrary, they found that wearing a helmet significantly reduces the risk of head and facial injuries. In fact, the NHTSA estimates that helmets saved over 1,800 lives in 2021 alone. If all motorcyclists had worn helmets, an additional 700 lives could have been saved. So, the notion that helmets are dangerous is far from reality. The evidence is clear. Helmets are a crucial piece of safety equipment that protect riders from potentially life-threatening injuries. They don't cause more harm, they prevent it. Next on our list, motorcycles are faster than cars. This is a popular belief, often fueled by the adrenaline rush of zipping through traffic on a two-wheeler, or the exhilarating scenes from action-packed movies. But how much truth is there to this claim? Well, let's break it down. Speed, in essence, is a function of several variables, including design, engine power, and aerodynamics. Starting with design, motorcycles are generally lighter than cars. This means they need less power to move, which can make them quicker off the line. However, this doesn't necessarily translate into a higher top speed. Now let's talk about engine power. High-performance motorcycles often have powerful engines relative to their weight, allowing them to accelerate rapidly. But again, acceleration is not the same as top speed. A motorcycle might reach its top speed quicker than a car, but that doesn't mean its top speed is higher. Finally, let's consider aerodynamics. When it comes to slicing through the air at high speeds, shape matters. Cars, with their streamlined designs, have a clear advantage here. A motorcycle rider, no matter how tucked in, presents a much larger obstacle to the wind than the sleek, low profile of a car. This aerodynamic drag increases exponentially with speed and can severely limit a motorcycle's top speed. So, where does this leave us? Are motorcycles faster than cars? Well, it's not that simple. A sport bike might out-accelerate a family sedan, but it's unlikely to beat a high-performance sports car in a straight line. And when you start talking about the top echelons of performance, the hypercars and the superbikes, the cars tend to have the edge. In the end, speed is a complex equation. It's not just about raw power, it's about how that power is used, and how effectively a vehicle can overcome the forces working against it. Therefore, it's not a given that motorcycles are always faster than cars. Another popular belief is that riding a motorcycle is just like riding a bicycle. But is it really? This myth is one of the most common misconceptions about motorcycles. It stems from the fact that, just like bicycles, motorcycles are two-wheeled vehicles, but the similarities end there. Riding a motorcycle is drastically different from pedaling a bicycle. Let's delve into why. Firstly, the control mechanisms of a motorcycle are far more complex than those of a bicycle. A motorcycle requires the simultaneous use of both hands and both feet, each controlling different aspects of the bike. Your right hand, for instance, manages the front brake and throttle, while your right foot controls the rear brake. Your left hand is in charge of the clutch and your left foot shifts gears. In comparison, a bicycle only requires the use of your hands for steering and braking, and your feet for pedaling. Quite a difference, isn't it? Secondly, the skills required to handle a motorcycle safely far exceed those needed for a bicycle. Motorcycles are heavier, faster, and require a greater level of physical coordination and mental acuity. You need to master the art of countersteering, understand the principles of weight transfer, and have a keen awareness of your surroundings. Not to mention, you also have to be adept at navigating through traffic and interpreting road conditions, which can be a challenge even for seasoned riders. Lastly, there's the factor of speed. Even the slowest motorcycles can easily outpace a bicycle, and with that speed comes an increased risk. A small error can have significant consequences on a motorcycle, and therefore it requires a higher level of skill and attention. So, while the basic principle of balancing on two wheels may be the same, the complexity of controls, the skills required, and the inherent risks make riding a motorcycle a vastly different experience. Clearly, riding a motorcycle is much more complex than riding a bicycle. We've busted some common myths about motorcycles today. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. Firstly, we debunked the myth that helmets cause more harm than good. We've seen that helmets, contrary to this popular belief, significantly reduce the risk of serious head injuries. The data is clear: helmets save lives. They are not the enemy, they're your best ally on the road. Secondly, we tackled the widespread belief that motorcycles are always faster than cars. While it's true that some motorcycles can outrun certain cars, it's not a universal rule. The speed of a vehicle depends on various factors, including its make, model, and engine capacity. Therefore, it's not fair or accurate to generalize that all motorcycles are faster than all cars. And finally, we addressed the misconception that riding a motorcycle is just like riding a bicycle. This couldn't be further from the truth. The skills needed to ride a motorcycle are far more complex and require more training and practice. It's not as simple as once you learn, you never forget. Motorcycle riding involves a higher degree of risk, and it demands a solid understanding of road rules, vehicle control, and safety precautions. The takeaway here is that it's crucial to fact-check and not swallow everything we hear about motorcycles hook, line, and sinker. Myths and misconceptions can not only distort our understanding but also potentially put us in harm's way. It's our responsibility to seek accurate information and gain a better, more informed perspective on the subject. Remember, the world of motorcycles is diverse, fascinating, and not confined by popular beliefs. It's filled with nuances and details that make it a realm worth exploring and understanding correctly. So let's continue to learn, to question, and to debunk myths. Remember, when it comes to motorcycles, it's better to trust facts than myths. Stay informed and ride safe.